What's up, bros? Welcome back.
Yeah.
Nice to see you guys.
Nice to be seen.
Berger Bros Podcast number 8. We made it 8 shows, guys.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty remarkable. Lots has happened since our last chat.
It has been quite eventful.
Yeah,
indeed.
I'd say so myself.
We got guns firing. We got crypto crashing and now recovered on a massive level.
You know what I was thinking about is when Trump got COVID, and everyone was like, oh my God, Trump's going to die. Crypto fucking pumped. And then when Trump gets shot at, crypto also pumps. So I think it's possible that Trump is Satoshi.
Good theory.
Yeah, that's not a bad theory. I mean, you just call him Captain Crypto because every time something negative happens to him, crypto reacts positively. So,
yeah. All right. Keep the shots firing. Let's keep that crypto pumping.
Indeed.
It's nice to see.
We also got the Ethereum ETF on the horizon, just announced, launching in a week. So
Tuesday, right?
Yeah, a week from today.
That's going to be eventful.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, seriously. I was also going to say I almost won my bet from our first podcast, Josh, where Bitcoin down at 50. What was it, 52 or something? 54? You're lucky.
Almost is not a win.
I forget what our bet is.
It was like $100 worth of packet at the price when we made it. So you kind of got hooked up because I think packet price is a little higher than it is now. So yeah,
you're better if it was lower because then I get more packet.
I know, right? but you lost the bet. So I lose.
You lost yet.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it'll still happen. It could still happen. Definitely potential for Bitcoin to drop again. And obviously the Trump assassination attempt is a black swan event for sure. Can almost call Biden debate performance a black swan event too, but most everyone saw that one coming. And our last podcast was right before the debate. And yeah, if you're voting Democrat, you definitely got slapped in the face after that debate performance. It's not a good show and not a good look for anybody who wants to call themselves American, and certainly not a good look for anybody checking out America.
Yeah, it's funny. The last thing you want to be said after a debate is, who else can we have on the ballot?
Yeah.
Those are not the words you want. You want, wow, killed it, amazing job. Not, he had a bad day. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah, you might want to sit a little closer to your mic, Jer.
Oh yeah, I was like, goddamn right, he had a bad day. You know.
Yeah, he's having a bad couple years, and it's not getting any better.
It's getting old, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of wild because aging process obviously is inevitable. Everyone is going to experience it in some way, shape, or form. And, everyone has grandparents and aunts and uncles that are older. And obviously, as you get old, you're eventually going to die. As they say, the only thing guaranteed in life is death. But the determination of whether an individual who's experiencing severe cognitive decline should be running for president in America is a different story. And I think that a lot of Democrats and even the Biden administration are defending their record. I think that they have a lot that is defensible. They also have a lot of blunders that they need to, wear on the chin. But the fact of the matter is that voters just don't feel comfortable with somebody who is experiencing severe cognitive decline. And it's not to say that means those voters necessarily want to vote for the other party, but it is the responsible question is who's the best candidate to at least get a shot at winning. But
yeah, well, I think that also the tough thing is that Biden is so bad that people kind of just brush over how bad Trump's is. Like I listened to that thing you were just talking about, Jeremy, about where he reached out to Bobby Kennedy, and I was listening to him fucking ramble, and I'm like, he talked about vaccines. He talked about like all the. It was just like
cuts himself off short. Like he'll say something and then just move on to the next thing without even finishing his sentence.
I was having trouble following it. Like I'm like, what is this video? What am I even watching? What is he even trying to say? And I couldn't even follow it. So like that's the tough thing, is that Biden's ability to articulate himself is so bad that people are like, well, Trump's is better than that. So, but if you just took Trump and you put him next to like Cory Booker or Obama, or just like people that are actually articulate and eloquent, you're just like, this guy is a fucking rambling baboon. And so it's pretty rough.
It's tough. I mean, look, Trump's done a really good job on his image and the way he presents himself when he's not talking is definitely a better, more polished image. And that's just a fact. And people, if you look at branding, if you look at marketing, you're looking at a winning campaign. But there's absolutely, very little substance and in regards to Trump. And unfortunately, the American voters don't seem to care so much about substance. They care about pillar arguments. And there's been a lot of fear mongering, and because of the dramatic impact of inflation on the economy as a result of, what we know are the causes of inflation, happened predominantly under Trump's watch and extended deep into the beginning of Biden's presidency, now affected all Americans, and people are feeling it from an economy standpoint. Then Biden has to, deal with the consequences of that. And people can look back and say, hey, my life was better in 2020 and before. And it's true, because that was pre-COVID. It had nothing to do with Trump's policies.
And it was they were feeling the effects of the Obama presidency 4 years prior. So it's like,
we talked about that.
That's what I think people don't understand, is that the work that's done during a presidency doesn't actually get noticed or felt until 3 or 4 years after they either leave office or they do their second term. So everyone's saying, oh, Biden has done this horrible job, our lives are shit, but it's really a ramification of what happened during the Trump presidency. And Biden, basically inherited this shitstorm dealing with COVID and into kind of fixing some of the, policies that Trump had implemented and, or some of the things that he took away from everyday Americans. And Biden brought those back, but we're not going to even see any of that stuff until the next term. And so let's say, Trump wins and he becomes the president, in 2025. Well, everyone's going to be like, wow, Trump's amazing, because they're going to feel all the effects of what Biden has done over the last 4 years.
Totally. And that's how Trump wanted it. It's the irony is that if Trump won a second term instead of Biden, Trump would be viewed as the worst president of all time, because he'd be wearing on his chin the economic policies that he put in place in his prior term. So Biden just got the short end of the stick. And unfortunately, with his cognitive decline issues, he's not going to be able to properly defend himself, because he's just not sharp.
Also, they're not doing like the same type of marketing, like it's all just you're not attracting the young demographic, the people under 50, basically.
Now, what's been interesting is moving over to the crypto side of it is how many just meme coins have just like fired up over Trump and over Vance or whatever his name is. And just like ear, when he got shot, that ear token that just went through the roof, like just to the moon, going up like 14,000% or
I think it went to like $25 million market cap or something.
Yeah, it was like 150,000% in like a few hours. Like it was these meme coins have just been absolutely insane. It's funny because we've been always looking at like crypto as like a real thing, and these these blockchain projects and these layer one projects, and just looking at crypto. But like all my investments in like real legitimate projects are pretty stagnant, and all the stuff in these meme coins is just like paying the rent. So it'll be interesting to see if these projects of substance can really elevate when the bull run comes into full force.
That's so true. And I think that one of the elements that has been working on the meme side, something that we've been wanting to adopt on the packet side, is just narrative storytelling, having some sort of character that you can interact with and feel like you're a part of a community. And that's largely missing from these, you could say, more blue chip projects, unless of course it's Solana or Ethereum, where you're buying that asset so you can go buy these other derivative trading pairs. But that's certainly what's happening, and that's a factor to take into consideration for the more established projects that are doing infrastructure, AI, or something like this, and it's just a narrative but it doesn't have a story behind it. It doesn't have a character, doesn't have someone who leads you through how to do whatever the project's asking the community to do, and it doesn't create that same mechanism for building community and for people to be involved with something. Whereas if you own a meme token, you're just part of the culture. That meme token is part of the culture. And whether it's our friend promoting Mumu or Wolf or Pepe or Brett, people are like really, really committed to those characters and feel like, hey, I have ownership of this piece of this market cap. Like I feel like I own something. Whereas like if you're investing in, VET or AVAX or these other projects that are major projects, but they just don't have that same type of narrative, like it makes you wonder what you're holding, and is it ever gonna pump on the level of these other major projects. I think the answer is they will end up pumping at some point, but go throw $2,000 at AVAX, and over the last week it's gone up maybe 3 or 4%. So your $2,000 is worth $2,150.
Yeah.
And if you put some money into Mog or Whiff or Ponky, you're up 40%.
Yeah. Well, I also think that with Solana meme coins or any meme coin is it's so easy to switch hands, so like it makes everything so accessible with like the trading bots and Telegram, or even just using Radium with one of your Web3 wallets like Phantom or Soulflare. But like you can see see what happens when a project really starts to take off. A lot of money comes out of these other projects and gets put into those projects, because everybody, and you can see which projects start pumping. When there's a project that's lifting off, the volatility is insane. Like we were in that one last night that was like nuts. It was jumping like 50% every second, like 50% down, 50% up, 50% down, 50% up. And but I was thinking about like what projects all these whales sold and then jumped into this to make their 3, 4, 5x, and then they're going to go back and buy that other project that they want. They're just increasing their bag. And if you're doing it with 30 to 40 Solana, like you know, if you go up 20% with 40 Solana, like that's a good amount of money you're gonna make, you know. So like
he's trading
like,
insane.
Yeah, but if you're trading like, you know, some of these layer one tokens or even layer one blockchain projects, like you got to go into a centralized exchange and you got to do all these 2FA verification. I mean, it's just like, I guess to withdraw it, you know, but if you want to go in and let's just say you're on MEXC and you sell your, you know, you want to sell some coins to go buy a meme token, dude, you have to like go through all these steps to withdraw and send it to your other wallet. And then you might miss that pump, you know? Whereas if you just have your Solana, you can just boom, 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 just trade it wherever you want, and you're in and out so quick.
Well, there's still a lot of adoption for, you know, I think what's interesting is there's a huge opportunity for people who are paying attention, and most people aren't, but the people who are making a shit ton of money, and it's kind of this unique opportunity where there's the opportunity to make that kind of money. I mean, like, you know, last night you made 40% in an hour, you know, like that opportunity doesn't exist for most people. And so it's like super important to pay attention and to learn and to be able to tap into these opportunities, because they're never going to be like this again. Like I remember when Bitcoin was $3,000, you know, it's like, that opportunity is never coming back. You're never going to see Bitcoin at 3,000. You either took a chance and bought that at 3,000 or you didn't. And the people who did made a lot of money, and the people who didn't are kicking themselves.
Speaking of opportunity, so what do you guys think about XRP?
I don't know. Pull it up. What is it looking like right now?
Here, let me play this.
I mean, it's not an interesting price. It's just kind of.
But hey, check this out. So here, let me see if I can play this real quick. I want to get your
video.
I want to get your guys' opinion on this. So here, let's see here. So this is a guy that I follow. Can you see this?
Yeah, here, let's pull it up.
So this is what he's saying right here.
I mean, well, before you play it, everybody's been talking about XRP to $1 for years, dude. Forever.
Right. So
and
here's
what like, XRP is going to be the #1 token in the world. Everyone's going to adopt it, all the banks, and it's just like, when?
So here, let's see. This is what this guy says. This video's got 100,000 views. So check it out. Let's see if I can.
I can't hear it.
Here.
It's insane. You're probably noticing we're up like shit today. We pumped 15% in just a couple hours. The coin is trending worldwide. Why is that? Well, I think the lawsuit's about to end very soon. The SEC is having a meeting on July 18th, a couple days away, just close to the public, talking about settlement, litigation claims. You can see everything right here. They've been taking L after L recently, and I am telling you, the lawsuit is about to end. And when that does happen, you're going to see a pump on this coin unlike anything you've ever seen before. A 2 to 4x, same day. Oh, it's crazy. Listen to this. A year ago on the Instagram, he had the biggest day ever for XRP. It was July 10, 2023. We went from 45 cents to $1 in a single day, just off the news. The judge said XRP was not a security. That's it. Like that's literally what it pumped off. It did 2x off that shit. We already knew that. So imagine what this coin is going to do after it's unchained by the SEC. I am telling you, it's going to be fucking mind blowing. So right now in the comments, let me know what month you think that they're going to settle this year. July, August, September. Let me know in the comments. And boys, I'll keep you updated. This shit is crazy. What is going on with it?
Yeah, look, I mean, I remember XRP back in the Binance days when when anybody could trade on it. And I had XRP. I watched XRP pump to $4, pumped. And I was trying to sell, and it literally crashed Binance. It crashed the entire platform. You couldn't even trade anything. And watch it go all the way up and watch it go all the way down.
I mean, look, it's not a bad thing to hold it. I mean, the movements on it have been so like minimal. I mean, you're talking, 15%. It's 50% up, 50% down, 50% up, 50% down. So I think that, look, go get yourself a couple $100 back.
There's nothing wrong with having that in your bag. I got some.
Yeah, I think it's, well, here's the other thing. I just watched a crazy video. So, this guy, I mean, this is some this is something real crazy. So first off, JD Vance, who just got selected as Trump's vice president, is business partners with oh shoot, what is his freaking name? One of the co-founders of PayPal.
Yes. Isn't he like a super bullish on crypto too? But he's also
he's a crypto guy, and actually JD Vance has legislation that he's proposed that's actually got bipartisan support as being like the way forward for regulating crypto. So I bet you that's a part of the factor on him being chosen. But Peter Thiel, that's the name I was looking for. So Peter Thiel is Elon Musk's business partner when they founded PayPal. And they both got buku rich off of PayPal, obviously. Actually, when they founded it, it was called X. That was initially when they were business partners. And I guess that Peter Thiel has now got business with JD Vance. And so what they're saying is that when Ripple, and here's the other crazy thing. Peter Thiel invested in this other company. I forget the name of it. It's a weird name, but it was the early version of Ripple.
He also invested in a little company called Facebook. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah. So what they're saying is that when Ripple lawsuit ends, that there's a high probability, and also Ripple's about to launch a stable coin called like RUSD, means for like real USD, and is going to go head to head with USDT. And so what they're saying is that because Elon is trying to create the everything app, so you can pay for everything through the app, that when Ripple lawsuit ends and is kind of like unchained by the SEC, that there's a high potential that RUSD and Ripple will be used as the payment solution within the X app because of the Peter Thiel, JD Vance legislation, Elon Musk X platform, like all kind of.
And very sad Doge owners that thought that was going to be the one.
Well, I'm sure that
Doge is going to be integrated for sure. I would say. Also, we know Elon's a bullish on Doge.
And Elon just endorsed Trump. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah,
he just went on Twitter and endorsed him.
Not only endorsed him, but he said he's going to give him he's going to donate $45 million a month until the end of the election. So he's going to have donated over $180 million to the Trump campaign, but to get into November. So crypto, if you haven't packed your crypto bags,
I need to pack more.
It's so funny though, because the cycles are always pretty dead on, and you always doubt them. You're like, oh my God, these scary moments. But like when you look at the cycle, it's hard. It's like almost like funny, but they always happen, right? You have the halving, which is a non-event, which we've always been saying, and then 4 to 6 months after the halving is when the bull run starts, and it always just lines up with some event, that you're always like, well, how does this happen? And it's just like, there's always an event that just triggers that bull market. And it's always in an election year. And so like, that's the trippy thing about Bitcoin, is that it's always in an election year. The cycles are always pretty dead on. The pump's going to happen in the fall, and it's going to go
right after October, like November through
your Thanksgiving this year is going to be lit, and you're going to have your little nephew talking about how he just like bought a Lamborghini and he's 14 years old and he can't even drive it. He's still got his learner's permit. And then your granny that's going to be sitting there is like, I'm willing to take my life savings and put it on Bitcoin. And then she's going to go in, and she's not going to know that you're supposed to sell it at next Thanksgiving. And she's going to be long on it. And she's just going to be, it's going to, the market's going to pump. She's going to be like, wow, my little Timmy was so right. And then it's going to go come down when the Uber drivers start giving financial advice and telling you, which coins you should be buying when you're in an Uber. And then Granny is going to be like, I hate Bitcoin. It's the devil. It's taken my whole life savings, and now they put me in a home. So that's kind of the cycles.
It's a nice story, Josh.
Yeah,
Here's
thanks.
the bottom line. The bottom line is that crypto, and I've been saying this, I say this all the time. Crypto, nothing. I always say nothing moves like crypto. Straight up, there ain't nothing. There's even like a face ripping rally in the stock market. It doesn't move like crypto because
Even
the
the
stock
video
market is manipulated by the hedge funds and by the market makers who can manipulate the price. And there's all kinds of shady stuff, including, if people make money in crypto when the price drops as well. It's not just about long positions. Like you can short in crypto. And there's no like circuit breaker in crypto that shuts off the market when an asset drops by 7%. So that's why Bitcoin can have 20-30% drops, because when $1 billion gets liquidated in long or short positions based on the directional movement of Bitcoin, there's no one to shut off Bitcoin trading to prevent it from everyone freaking out and fear selling or fear buying the asset. So that's why you see it, but you want that. You want it to have those violent movements down sometimes. And yeah, it sucks when you buy an asset, at $130 million market cap and it drops to $70 million market cap. But I always say, if you believed in an asset at $130 million market cap, then you should really believe in it at 70. And that's where you need to double, triple down. It's hard to do. You might be out of fiat that you required to dollar cost average into the position, but that's where you want to be buying, especially if it's below where you entered, because it's almost impossible to catch a bottom. It doesn't mean it doesn't happen, but what it does mean is that there's a high probability that you will enter into a trade and it's going to go down. I had someone just the other day text me and say, "You told me to buy Ethereum and it's down." I said, "Buy more." And look at it now. It's up 20% from, where she was buying.
Yeah.
And that's just the game that you got to play. You got to look at your bag. It's got to be down. And as they say, you want to buy when there's blood in the streets, even if it's your own. But this market, to Josh's point, is absolutely going to have a face ripping rally to upside. We don't know when, and we don't know what will cause it.
It usually happens around
It's
October.
going to happen.
And it's usually around October, because I remember, because it was beginning of October was when Trump got COVID last time.
On your birthday.
Yeah. And then Ethereum went from, 300 to 1,000.
Yeah. By December, when we were in Maui,
yeah.
and that was in December. So basically from when Trump got COVID, which was Ethereum at somewhere between $280 and $340. And I remember when we were traveling to Maui, it was like $600 or $700.
Yeah.
And in 4 months later, it was up,
$2,800.
8x from there. Yeah. It was up in the 4,000 range. So it's like now Ethereum just ripped from $2,800 low a couple of days ago to $3,500 today, and all-time high is in the mid fours, which is probably going to happen in the next week or so.
Yeah.
with the Ethereum ETF.
Yeah.
And
no doubt,
bull market hasn't even begun.
And I think it's also important that for people to understand that, like, when the reason why I think the Ethereum ETF is going to be crazier than like Bitcoin, because Bitcoin ETF was kind of like a non-event. It just kind of opened up the world of crypto to, regular, in stock investors. But the difference is that there are no projects that are really, there are, but there aren't real projects that are built on the Bitcoin blockchain.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ethereum is like the first real big blockchain that has a gazillion projects built on top of it.
Most of the big altcoins are on there. Yeah.
And so what happens is all this money gets funneled into the ETF, and then the hype on Ethereum is going to skyrocket the price, but then it's going to make that whole ecosystem rise, and all those projects that are on the ecosystem are going to rise. And then all of a sudden you have, these billion-dollar projects on top of, whatever the multi-billion-dollar, ecosystem of Ethereum. And then it just kind of once it takes off and you're lift off, dude, there's no stopping it. And then
well, it's not even just that that Ethereum goes up, which lifts everything. When Ethereum goes up, people take profits and put it into Ethereum trading pairs. And so if you can buy another coin with Ethereum coins, then when your profits are up, you're going to go move that over to another asset and go and ride that next wave up to go get that, next, 2 to 5 to 10x on your profits that you just made off of your Ethereum buy. So that's what becomes really exciting. The other thing that becomes exciting is that if we're being honest about Ethereum, that was an ICO, that wasn't like Bitcoin where, Bitcoin has this anonymous creator and it's a proof of work and a fair distribution, and there was no pre-sale and pre-mine. It was a fair mine from block one. Like those are all the realities around Bitcoin. Those realities are not the same around Ethereum. We know who the founders are. We know all the information about Ethereum. There was a pre-sale that happened and people got shit ton of Ethereum. And so that changes the thesis for crypto when that is now considered a utility. And when that thing is now authorized to become an ETF, it opens it up for Solana, for Chainlink, for all these big blue chip projects to now XRP. Basically XRP to now basically IPO and go open those assets up to the masses, which is just going to bring a tremendous amount of liquidity into the crypto space.
Yeah, look, that's one of the best things you could have ever said. You hit the nail on the head. That's going to be where it's going to be those catalysts. It's going to be introducing the crypto market into traditional markets through these ETFs, where these, and Jeremy used the word ecosystems, the Ethereum ecosystem, the Solana ecosystem, the XRP ecosystem, etc., are going to be available for outside investors to invest into those ecosystems through a securitized vehicle like an ETF. And that's where you're going to see the market cap for crypto go from $2.5-3 trillion to $10-15 trillion over the next couple of years. I mean, that's going to be it.
Crazy. If you think about it, the whole crypto industry is worth less than NVIDIA.
That's insane.
Just think about that. That's like, whoa, this one company is worth more than the entire crypto market. So
still so early. That's just true.
So when the crypto markets get up into the 15, 20, $30 trillion, market cap, what does that mean for all the cryptocurrencies and all the tokens? That just means that they're going to be worth more. So if you're getting these tokens at, 10,000ths of a penny, and then that thing goes up to a penny, I mean, dude, you just made generational wealth for your family. So it's like and those kind of rises are only possible in crypto. Like that type of shit doesn't happen in traditional markets.
Or you have to wait 30 years. Like,
or you wait 300 years. You wait your whole lifetime. Like if you bought Disney when Disney stock launched, your kid, those foresight seekers, people who saw that and bought, their families got good money, or their grandparents or their grandkids,
It was a decade. That thing was trading sideways for 6 years,
And they invented something that every single computer uses.
Yeah.
And it's just, and then, and they use those chips and everything now. So it's like, and it took the years of evolution to be able to even create these chips. And that's kind of how it is going forward in the future for your families and your grandkids and your great grandkids. Like what's going to be how, technology, evolves going into the future. So right now you have an opportunity. If you're looking short term, you're probably going to get wrecked a lot. But if you're looking long term and you're not going into these, shit tokens that launch on Solana for 2 to 3 hours and then get rugged, when you're looking at the projects, I was just doing some research today. I was like, I'm so sick of these, projects that get launched and you think you're going to make, some, couple X's on it and then they rug you and you're just like, okay, fuck that. And so I started looking at some of the projects that have been around for like 30 days that haven't really taken off yet, or took off and then they retraced and now they're on their way back up. And like, what projects are there good entries in right now? Yeah, volume might be low, but like that one coin I sent you guys, I think it was Mini. Did you look at that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dude, that thing was going sideways for like a month.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, just boom, volume went up through the roof, getting like 50, 60 Solana buys. And it went from, I think it was at like 0.6 or something. And it went all the way up to $0.015. Like,
yeah.
Why? Just, you know,
Yeah.
A legitimate project. But yeah, to your point, I mean, even I was looking at WIF.
Yeah.
And yet 2 days ago at 1.7 billion market cap. And I was like, you don't invest in this right here. And your friend sent us MOG at like a $400 or $500 million market cap. I was like, that thing already went. Yeah. Well, now it just went up 50% over the last week. I just watched yesterday, WIF just went from 1.7 billion market cap to 2.2 billion in 1 day.
And it's just a shame coin that does nothing. That's what gets me so excited about Packet, is like, this is an actual project that does something for the world, and like
world changing. Yeah.
It's changing it. It like changes everything. And so like and I think the biggest hurdle that we've always had with Packet is, how do we get it in front of people? You know, we can go spend money on all these articles and whatnot, but if it's hard for people to purchase, then you're dealing with crypto is already confusing. So then if you're putting in a couple extra hurdles, like you got to go do this, you got to go do that. And it's like, you know, and most people don't like the idea of centralized exchanges where you have to like, you know, put in your ID, and and a lot of centralized exchanges don't work in the United States. So you basically just cut out the whole American audience, or, you know, demographic. And then you're only dealing with, you know, the foreign markets, which are on a different time zone than you are. And it's just basically like, you're just fighting against yourself. Yeah. So it's always an uphill battle, and that's what makes me excited.
But when we started this thing 5 years ago, crypto wasn't what it is today, you know? So we get to look at this landscape, you know, when you're trailblazing and innovating and building things that don't exist from scratch, you know, like you can't see the landscape because it didn't exist, you know, and you could just hope that like maybe a city's going to develop around you, or, you know, maybe you accidentally just built it in a desert, you know, and nobody ever built there. And so I think that, you know, there's a lot of benefit to being early. There's also a lot of challenges with being too early. And so that's what's really gotten me excited. And now that we're like starting to have small conversations about, you know, the project good news and what we're about to launch with Packet, and people are like, oh shit, that's dope, you know? And we didn't have a lot of that stuff back in the day because first of all, crypto was still so new. And what we're building is so innovative, and there were just these pieces that we couldn't bridge the gap between them. And so Project Good News just bridges that gap and makes this so accessible to so many people and so easy to explain. I've never.
And it's cool.
I'm more excited about Packet now than when we launched it back then, because like back then I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. I was just like, yeah, we built this thing, it's great. And now I actually know what we're talking about, and the network actually exists now. Yeah. And this crazy new incentive is about to come out, which is just going to be an absolute game changer.
And it's cool to watch people's eyes just go, wait, what? You can do what? It does what? What? Oh, holy, like that call we had today. Like when we were explaining it to him, I could just love. I don't know if you guys were looking at his face, but he was just like, whoa.
Wheels just turning, you know?
He was just like, you could just see all the different, he's like, oh shit, this is friggin' game changer.
Yeah. So, this one's a game changer. Packet to the moon. Packet entry point at under $5 million market cap right now. You got to be kidding me. Got to be kidding me.
I can't wait to just like when this thing, 10x's and everybody's like, oh my God, I was in at friggin', 1/100th of a penny.
And the people who exited during the bear market who just didn't have the stomach or the cojones.
Or they just had to freaking exit because, the bear market was so rough. Look, I get it, dude. You got to feed your family, if you got to sell your million packet for, $600 to buy groceries, like, dude, it's tough times out there. Yeah. Especially in California,
Yeah.
Spending
one
50
bag of groceries
What?
That's one bag of groceries. 600.
One bag of groceries in Cali.
Nah, that's 3 grocery shops at Trader Joe's for a family of 3.
That's true.
That's basically so like basically 3 weeks of groceries if you know how to shop at Trader Joe's and get the fire.
Yeah, indeed.
Anyway,
all right. Well, this has been good. People got a little taste of the whole shebang. It's an interesting time in the world, and I'm here for it. Let's lock in, and I hope everyone gets the prosperity and success and good health and happiness that they want, because that's where you want to be.
Go get your generational wealth bag ready to go, so that in the next year you guys are poised and ready.
And be kind to each other, because it's a crazy time in the world.
Indeed. All right, boys. Always a pleasure. Thanks for the time, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Rock and roll.